If you're a real estate professional in Mexico, you're constantly handling client data, right? Well, what you do with that information isn't just about good customer service, it's actually the law. So today, we're going to break down the data protection rights that are absolutely critical for your career and, yes, for your professional certification.
All right, let's just jump right in with a situation that could happen to you tomorrow. A past client gives you a call and says, "Hey, I need you to delete all my information. Everything. My name, phone number, all of it. And I mean now." What's your move? Are you legally required to do it? This isn't just some random question. It's a real-world test of your professionalism.
Well, the answer to that, and pretty much everything else we're going to talk about, comes from right here. The federal law on the protection of personal data. This is the official rulebook for anyone in the private sector in Mexico, and that includes every single real estate agent and agency. You know, understanding this isn't just a good idea, it's a core part of your job.
So let's get into the heart of this law. The best way to think about it is that your clients have these powers over their own data. And for every single power they have, you have a matching responsibility. It's really the core of data privacy.
The law gives every person 4 main rights, which are super easy to remember with the acronym ARCO. Just think of ARCO as your roadmap for handling data the right way, both legally and ethically. Each of those letters stands for a specific right that your client can use at any time.
First up, we've got A for access. This is your client's right to basically ask you, "Hey, what information do you actually have on me, and what are you using it for?" You're legally required to show them what you've got and explain the process. It's all about being transparent.
Next is R for rectification. Pretty straightforward, right? If a client sees that you've got their address wrong or you misspelled their name, they have the right to get it fixed. I mean, this just makes sense. It helps make sure the data you're holding is actually accurate, which is better for everyone.
And here it is, the big one, the answer to our first question. C is for cancellation. And yes, your client absolutely has the right to ask you to delete their data, especially once you don't need it anymore, for the original reason you collected it. After a deal is done and all the legal waiting periods are over, you can't just keep their info sitting in your database forever.
And finally, we have O for opposition. This gives your client the power to just say, "Stop." For example, they can object to you using their data for your marketing emails. If they have a legitimate reason, you have to stop using their data for that specific purpose. It's all about putting them back in control.
Okay, so a client reaches out to use one of their ARCO rights. Now what? Knowing the rights is half the battle, but following the official procedure, well, that's what keeps you on the right side of the law. Let's walk through what you actually have to do.
Now, pay close attention here, because this is something a lot of people miss. Article 30 is super specific. You can't just have anyone handle these requests. The law says you must officially designate a specific person or even a whole department to be in charge of this. It doesn't matter if you're a solo agent or a big firm. And look, this is a two-way street. The client has to follow a process too. Article 29 lays it out. They've got to give you their name and contact info, prove who they are, be really clear about what data they're talking about, and give you any details to help you find it. This protects both of you from any potential fraud. Okay, we've gone over the client's rights and what you need to do. But what if you don't? What happens if you just ignore a request or you never set up a process in the first place? This is where things get really, really serious. Let me be crystal clear about this. Ignoring these rules isn't just some minor paperwork mistake. We're talking about severe consequences, financially and maybe even criminally, that could honestly put your business and your entire career at risk.
So let's talk numbers, because this is just wow. See that 320,000 on the screen? That's not a peso amount. That's a multiplier. Fines can go up to times 320,000 times the daily minimum wage. And get this. If it involves sensitive data like someone's financial details, that fine can literally double. That is a fine that could end a career, no question.
And here's exactly how you can get into that kind of trouble. These are common slip-ups, straight out of Article 63. Things like just not responding to a request, lying and saying you don't have the data, or being careless with confidentiality. Any one of these can lead to those huge fines.
And if you think a massive fine is as bad as it gets, well, think again. For really serious violations, like if you deliberately cause a security breach to make a profit, you're not just looking at fines. We're talking about actual criminal charges. Articles 67 to 69 lay it out plain and simple. Prison time of up to 5 years. It doesn't get more serious than that.
So why are we hammering this home so hard? It's not just about scaring you. It's because knowing this stuff isn't just about avoiding trouble. It's a fundamental part of your professional growth. And, crucially,
It's a huge piece of your certification.
When you go for your EC 011.02 evaluation, you can bet you'll be tested on this. They'll want to see that you really get key parts of the law, like the definitions in Article 3 and the rules on data processing in Article 12. You have to prove you've mastered this to be declared competent. It's that simple.
And that makes perfect sense, right? The organizations that grant these certifications, like ICE Mexico and Red Conocer, have woven this legal knowledge right into their standards. It's part of what makes being certified such a badge of honor. It proves you're an advisor who can be trusted.
So let's flip the script. Don't look at this as just a bunch of scary rules you have to follow. Think of it as a professional advantage. When you master data protection law, you're not just covering your bases, you are seriously upgrading your professional game, building incredible trust with clients, and making yourself stand out from the competition.
In the end, it really all boils down to this one question. Understanding and using these ARCO rights is about protecting two very important things: your clients and your own career. A true professional takes both of those responsibilities seriously. So, are you ready?